before we get into the questions, Tefu, and you can keep them coming in, does it mean now being involved with MTN8, you are still in football, you are back in football? Because the last time I met you, you were furthering your studies.
Yeah, took a bit of a sabbatical from football, just to obviously think about like my future. And I remember the last time we spoke was 2019. And 2020 COVID happened.
Yeah.
So there's been a whole lot of resetting happening. But like I'm back with football. Completed my studies now, and looking forward to post football playing career type of a setup.
Okay, so what did you complete now? Because I know before you had a BA, was it a BA in international relations?
Yeah. That was about 15 years ago when I came through to Joburg from Limpopo. And ever since, obviously went into professional football for 13 years. And now I'm about to complete my sports management program. It's a program that's run by FIFA CIES, Center for Sports Studies. It's based in Switzerland and Nelson Mandela University. And upon graduation, I'm hoping to go and complete my sports law diploma. It's an international course that's run by FIFA as well. But my biggest dream is to do FIFA Masters.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically like what I'm planning and what I'm dreaming about, like achieving.
And then what's the bigger goal then if you do, or when you do achieve these and the FIFA Masters, like you said, and your sports law, what is the goal?
Administration. I feel like, take nothing away from those players who retire and then they go into coaching, but there's a lot of players that like go into coaching, but like we don't have a lot of administrators. And if you look at Europe, you have like Thabiso Mosia, you've got Pavel Nedved, you've got like Paolo Maldini, like they go into administration after retiring. So I'm looking up to that path.
Okay, and you're not taking things for granted just because you were a former player there. It doesn't seem like there's a sense of entitlement. How important is it to do it the right way for you?
Yeah, it's very important because once you step into that avenue, it's a whole new different ball game, because now you're going to fight against politicians. And the culture in South Africa, and not just in South Africa but like all over, you have to have your ammunition like ready, so I feel like we have to keep on empowering ourselves. Don't just like depend on your footballing experience, your playing experience, thinking that like all the doors are gonna open once you step out of that avenue.
Yeah, I was actually speaking to Pakakla the other day, and he's also about to complete his, I think it's a law degree that he's doing at Vets, and he's about to finish also, which is also very encouraging. So, did you officially retire? Did you announce that you've retired from football and you've moved on with life?
No, I didn't officially announce that I retired, because I feel like our country is a country of empty symbolism. Like there's a lot of things that like we just do for the sake of doing, like in other countries, when you have played for so long and then you announce your retirement, there will be games that are introduced in your honor, and like this like couple of things that are done. But like in South Africa, it's just, okay, I'm retiring, and then what? You get a couple of articles here and there, and then that's just the end of it. So why should I participate in something that I don't have the power over? So that's just my mentality. I don't think I have to announce my retirement, and like if anyone differs, then I'm sorry.
Yeah, some people are still waiting for their testimonials years after retirement. But did you leave football on your own terms, therefore, or not?
Yeah, it was my own terms, and I think somehow it goes into answering the first guy's question
about regrets of leaving Chiefs.
No, there's no regrets. I mean, like I played for Chiefs for 4 or 5 seasons, and I think I won about 2 league titles and 2 trophies. There's people who play for Chiefs for 10 years and then they don't achieve what I've achieved. And like I'm someone who has always like looked at the bigger picture. You know, when I went to New York and then I went to Sweden, it was not just because like suddenly like I have to find a place, but like for me, it was just trying to like expand, you know, my mind, because like traveling like exposes you to a lot of things, and like the experience that I've gained, you know, in Sweden goes a long way into helping me to become what I am right now.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've heard the talk. There's a lot of people that feel that after you left Chiefs, you are blacklisted. What do you make of that talk?
Yeah, it's called blackballed.
Blackballed.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Look, there was a lot of emotions going on. It's something that like you have to learn to live with. You have to learn to live with some of the situations not happening as people wish. And I feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience out of what happened. I went to Sweden and I got there, like I gained a lot of experience like individually. So for me, that was that. I'm still, you know, in good relationship with Bobby. I've met him a couple of times. I know people were saying like, Bob Steak, this and that. But me and Bobby, we are cool. And I'm going to be representing the Chiefs Legends, by the way. Yeah, so... I mean, like, there's a lot of things that have been sorted, and they're gonna be continued to being sorted going forward.
Does it mean there's no bad blood, no hard feelings, or does time heal?
It can be both, but for me, I've never really had like bad blood. I know there was a lot of people that felt like, but the way you left Chiefs, it was not cool. But I remember just before I left, I was having constant back and forth meetings with Bob Steak, and he was about to arrange a meeting between me and chairman, Mr. Kaizer, and like that didn't take place, obviously. So one of the things I'm like, okay, if that meeting had taken place, maybe things would have changed. But I think round about that time that Bob Steak was trying to arrange that meeting, then there was an article in the newspapers saying that like me, Itu, and Mandla, we are sacked. So for me, it was some kind of an indication to say that like I'm no longer needed at Chiefs, especially like when your contract is left with 2 weeks and then you get expelled. You see, like that's it's a tricky, you know, situation to deal with. At the same time, there were teams all over in Europe, in America, that were looking for me, and at that point in time, I wanted to expand. I was tired of playing in Moses Mabhida, FNB. You know, like I wanted to grow, and I really don't regret ever going overseas, because it was not just about football, but like also about like growing my mind and looking at the situation from outside in compared to always like inside out.
How did you take the disappointment of not signing in the US? Because when I remember correctly, they were very happy with you. There's just a few technicalities there.
Yeah, it was my biggest aim and objective was to go to the US, not just to play soccer, but also to further my studies. And I felt like the US lifestyle would have suited me very well, but you know, there were things that happened outside of my control. The coach then was very much happy with the way I trialed, with my attitude, and they wanted to sign me, but you know, yeah, so certain things happened, and you know how organized European or let me say American, overseas people are. But the only issue that made me not to sign was the fact that like they felt that there were too many agents negotiating for me.
At the time.
Yes.
Didn't you have one agent though in Jasmine at the time?
Well, I had Jasmine, but the deal was not, it didn't come through Jasmine.
I see.
Yeah. But I didn't know. Whoever created that opportunity for me was given Jasmine's number. But like when I got there, they were the ones negotiating for me. And obviously Jasmine as well, like he had his own interest. But at the end of the day, I didn't sign. No hard feelings. Life goes on and we grow.
Were you there with Frank Lampard?
I was there with Frank Lampard. Pirlo was due to arrive, I think, in a week. There was Villa.
David Villa.
Yes. He was very enthusiastic. It was a nice setup overall. One of my best experiences, to be honest with you, just living in New York for that time and just experiencing New York as well. Outside of football, for me, was one of the greatest experiences.
Before I go back to the voice notes, you still went to Sweden though. How was that experience for you, and what do you take out of that experience? Because for a lot of people, you came back sooner than we expected there.
Yeah, Sweden was great, to be honest with you. But like you see, with the climate in Sweden, I think 70% of the playing surfaces there, they're artificial. And I had my first injury, compartment syndrome, because I couldn't adapt to the playing surface. So I had to make a choice to come back or stay there and like keep on, having all those injury problems. But I remember I got there and we won our first trophy for the club, the first one in the history of BK Häcken, yeah. And for me, I'm following them and I see how they are doing. You know, they won the league title. They're about to go and play in Europe. So for me, I feel like we laid the foundation for that, for that belief, because it's a small island of Hisingen, small town, but like right now the mentality has changed after we won that Swedish FA in 2016.
What's compartment syndrome?
Basically, it's when the nerves in a certain muscle become dysfunctional and blood is no longer able to be transported to where it's supposed to get.
You can use the muscles fully.
The blood gets clogged up in one area.